Giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, the great millstone, who want to teach well. Peace of salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. So, let me just play this.
Way too far, the administration has.
If anything doesn't change with Governor Walz, I don't anticipate that the streets will get any safer.
I'm a nurse at HCMC, so I'm really tired of watching my patients be scared.
We're doing the right thing. We're going to keep with it. They can protest all they want. We're just going to double down and enforce the law.
Let me say once again to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation. You've done enough.
Those are just some of the voices we've heard over the last week as the federal crackdown surges on in Minnesota. The feds doubling down as some local leaders and community members call for ICE to leave town. Thanks for joining us. The governor's office says he's having an ongoing conversation with the White House. We also
All right, so that's just a little clip of what's going on in Minneapolis. There's a lot of riots and, like the scriptures say, uproars of the people and things of that nature. And I pretty much want to name this lesson, just prepare yourself mentally and shit. Just kind of like get it in your regimen to go home a little earlier than what you usually do. I'm not telling you to, cut things off cold turkey. But as we see things playing out, it's not really the smartest to be out in the city as late, whatever. And I'm not telling you what to do. Just, get acclimated into a curfew being set. If you usually, decide to, maybe go out, go get a drink or two with some of the bros, and you may stay out till 12, 1 o'clock at night, maybe dwindle that down to about 10, 11 o'clock at night and then go ahead and take it in, stuff like that. And then just, dwindle it as time goes forward. But, it's not really a good time to be out and about and doing all these things as much as we once used to do. You know what I'm saying? Life in itself is about to change dramatically, and you just don't know exactly when that change might be, but we know it's coming very soon just from what we've seen going on, in the society as of right now. It would kind of be smart to start acclimating yourself into, getting ready for a curfew. All right. So let me get this precept. And this lesson not going to be too long. It's just, I guess, like an exhortation, I guess. But it's just things that I see. And I'm not saying I see, like I'm the only one who sees this, but I'm sure y'all see it too. But it was on my spirit just to say this. So 2nd Ezra 15, and you already know I'm going to verse 17. It says that a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. We see it right here. There was an instance where there was a woman or a family of like 5 or 6, and they were coming back home from, one of their son's basketball game or whatever, and they got caught up in, these riots, Hold on. They got caught up in these.
I'm a nurse at HCMC.
They got caught up in these riots that you see right here, or in these quote unquote protests, because I think in Minneapolis, like a day ago or so, they were going up. It wasn't just ICE agents; it was the police department, federal agents, ICE, all of that. What people need to understand is that your local, county cops, they work in cahoots with ICE, because you got to understand one thing. When someone either turns themselves in or gets hemmed up by ICE and who ICE was looking for, they put them in their county jail first. And this is just how it works. I'm not speculating or whatever, because I've experienced this in my own household. Okay, they hem you up and they put you in your respective county's jail. So here in Atlanta, you have Fulton County, Cobb County, DeKalb County, Gwinnett County. So if ICE hems you up, they're going to put you in Cobb County Jail for however long. And then once ICE is ready, they'll grab everybody who was hemmed up by ICE, and then they'll take you to your respective detention center from there. I know in Georgia, there's one in Stewart, Georgia, so and I think there's a detainment center actually in Atlanta too, the ICE detainment center. So they'll either take you there and then ship you like a fucking Amazon package to Stewart, Georgia, where you just sit. They don't feed you, nothing. They just pack you in there. It's riddled with disease, sicknesses. They got 80, 90-year-old individuals in there. They do not care. They do not care. All right. But anywho, that you need to understand that your local police department is in cahoots with the ICE and federal government. Next, so like I was saying, there's a family who was just, coming home from a regular basketball game for their son's school, and then they ran into this because this is the way they get home. Matter of fact, let me pull this up. What is a flash mob? A flash mob, a large public gathering in which people perform an unusual or seemingly random act and then disperse, typically organized by means of the internet or social media. So they kind of ran into a flash mob, which you see here. And this is what's going to happen. I did a lesson a few days ago on how this civil war, because there is going to be a civil war, but how this civil war is going to be. It's going to be sporadic violence, sporadic killings, sporadic mobs. And I might do a separate lesson on the incident in Northern Ireland called the Troubles. But anywho, that family's trying to go home, got caught up in this. All their airbags deployed because the ICE agents threw a flashbang grenade in it. It was a loud pop, a vibration, and all the airbags just went out in their car. Side, rear, and front airbags went out. And then the ICE agents threw tear gas. And mind you this, they had 4 kids in the car. And one of them was only 6 months old. The tear gas got into the car, and the 6-month-old couldn't breathe and was foaming out the mouth. Everyone's okay, but still, there was a point where the mother was giving the 6-month-old mouth-to-mouth, trying to get the respiratory back working, and it just wasn't working. They found their way to get to a hospital, but still, this is what I'm saying. Prepare yourself for curfew. Prepare yourself, especially if you have immediate family, if you have kids, if you have a wife. You don't want to be caught out here in the middle of the night. And especially if you live in an area, and I'm going to say it bluntly and frankly, especially if you live in an area where there's a heavy population of Hispanics in your community. Take your fucking ass home. Don't be out there longer than what you need to be, and shit like that. Now, again, like I said in the beginning, y'all are all grown-ass men as well as I am. And I'm going to operate how I need to operate, which I see fit for my family to be safe. I'm not sitting here telling you what to do. I'm just giving not even a warning, just an advice, which I guess is the same thing. It's an advice to maybe scale down the times of how late you're out. I'm not telling you to go home at 7 p.m. and shit, but just gauge your area, gauge your community, watch police presence, watch their movements, be very cognizant of where you're at, understand areas of where ICE or agents would be, lingering around, looking for, and make sure you have all your documents in order, So, and if you can, go get a passport. Fuck it. Doesn't mean you have to go outside the country, but it's another means of identification and proof that you are a U.S. citizen. So that's all I wanted to. Matter of fact, let me get one more precept here. Okay, I want to get one more precept. Let's stay in the same chapter, verse 49. It says, 2 Ezra 15 and 49. I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, pestilence, and waste thy house with destruction and death. Yes, because they're actually, it's going to get to a point where it's going to get this critical, all right, where they start, screw the Fourth Amendment. They're going to start just doing what they do. Let's go to the next chapter in verse 70. 2 Ezra 16 and 70, it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection." And we saw Trump wanting to push the Insurrection Act on Minneapolis. It says, "Upon those that fear the Lord." So we see things happening. So we have to, because prophecy in a sense is going to change your life regardless. But the Lord gave you this truth beforehand so you can understand what's about to happen. So it's the same thing. If you perceive something in the spirit, start changing your life beforehand before the prophecies force your life to change. Get acclimated into understanding that, hey, maybe I should go inside earlier. Maybe I should stock up on some food. Maybe I should learn to be more hands-on with certain things, as in camping and learning how to make my own fire and things of that nature. Maybe I should be more active, as in working out, and I'm gonna do a lesson on that. And I'm gonna say this: if you're an individual who can't run a fucking mile straight, I mean, that's a fucking problem. I'm gonna say that straight up. That's a problem. I'm not saying walk. I'm saying run. If you can't run 1 mile straight, that is a problem. And I'm not even being too harsh, because I'm gonna say it. We're in blunt times. So blunt speech is gonna be made. And I'm gonna do a separate lesson on this. If you can't run a mile between 8, 9, and 10 minutes, then what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's simple. It's not hard. And it's only 8 to 10 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes of your time, of your life. Just like it only should take you about 8 to 10 minutes to wash the dishes. You see what I'm saying? How about you go outside and run? And I'm not talking about in a well-controlled environment such as a gym, where you just run on a treadmill in 70 to 2 degrees air conditioned. No, get your fucking ass outside. Go run the up and down hills, and run laps. Go be in the elements, But that's for another topic. So that's all I had here today. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, a great millstone, and rule and teach well. Peace of salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Until next time, I'll say shalom, and like always, repent, for Yahweh Shai is coming back sooner than what me and you believed. All right, shalom.